TRiDENT with Kick Ass. This is a song that came out a few more days ago than I'd like to admit, but I finally got around to reviewing it. Yes, there's been a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes for this channel, but I knew that when I had my first recording session, this was a song that I really wanted to talk about, and so here I am talking about this song with you guys. Obviously, TRiDENT are a group who I have been really sort of saying is one of the bands to keep an eye on, one of the bands on the way up, and been trying to maintain hashtag no bias, the fact that just they're a personal favorite of mine. Really love them, but we're always honest on this channel. We never just kiss ass. So how good was Kick Ass? See what I did there? Let's get into it. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where first of all we should start by really laying down the stakes for why each TRiDENT song that comes out is both exciting for me but also has me a little bit nervous. See, the reason why I love this band so much is manyfold. I mean, the one thing that we can all accept from the get-go that we just can all see is that they have three absolutely amazing musicians, and it sounds actually like they have four amazing musicians because Nagisa, I think, is like just seriously underrated, amazing drummer. You've got Serena, who quietly stands there but is just an unbelievable bass player, as you also see in this song. And then you've got Asakura up front, who is not only a brilliant guitarist but a brilliant vocalist as well. And as I keep on pointing out, she's able to do those two things at once. They do not detract from each other like they do with some front people who play guitar and sing, and one detracts from the other a little bit. She would be brilliant in either role on its own, but she encapsulates both of them together. But that's not even TRiDENT's greatest quality. The one thing that I keep on saying that really brings me back to this group over and over again is their sheer creativity of songwriting. They have songs that go through so many different versions of the rock sound. They've got mid-tempo sort of arena bangers. They've got ones which are more like rock ballads. They've got punky songs. They've got things that go into a slightly more EDM territory. And the other thing to bear in mind is the fact that TRiDENT have deservedly been on the rise. I've been tipping them for their quality, but it's been paying off. They haven't exactly blown up, but they've been slowly rising. Yes, they had a bit of a jump up when songs like Spoopy came out and Cry Out and that whole phase. But the question is, with this constantly building quality of musicianship, of songwriting, of popularity, is it really being continued with this latest song? We mentioned that Repaint felt like they were going into a slightly more sort of like just cementing their sound area, and then they obviously had Neo Future, it was like just a really great banger as well. How does Kick Ass land? Well, I think there's a lot to be happy with this song about. It kind of hits on territory that they've covered before. I mean, TRiDENT have covered so much territory with their sound before that it's almost difficult for them to do something they completely have never done before. But here I feel like they've touched on a range of different things, and this song definitely feels different from anything they've done before, whilst also calling on certain qualities that maybe have made us love the band previously. Overall, it's a fast, more punky song. It goes into that sort of, I always forget, is it Call Out or Cry Out? It's really annoying that I always get it's Cry Out, isn't it? I keep on calling it Call Out. They go into that Cry Out, slightly more high-speed punky territory. And it's got that vibe to it as well. It has a lot of the more straight melodic vibe that goes back to some of their older songs. Think of like Continue, Just Fight, that kind of sound. A little bit more strong melody focuses in this as well. It has a bit of a chant going on it as well. The sort of Kick-Ass, the titular chant within the song is there, which really, again, is another thing that gives it more single quality, gives it that value as a sort of song that people can shout along to and sing along to. And also it has a really cool bridge a la Spoopy. Spoopy obviously went into that slightly EDM territory. Now, I've noticed that when I saw TRiDENT live last, they did actually play Spoopy, but I noticed a lot of the time they don't play it live. And I wonder if it's because when they do Spoopy, they require, like, I think a backing track to do those slightly more EDM, I always forget it's called, like, dubsteppy sounds that appear in the bridge. This feels like playing a similar sort of, like, let's suddenly go metal in the bridge feeling. Let's go a little bit trippy. Let's shift up the rhythm a little bit, but in a completely pure rock sound. I love the fact that it breaks that riff. I love the fact they suddenly get that dropped beat where the time signature goes into threes. I really love the whole way they approach that, and it works so well with the song. I mean, the second verse has its own little treats. Serena goes into bass madness there. It breaks down to just being sort of bass vocals and drums. You get a little bit more rhythm coming into Asaka's vocals. This is a song that is both throwing everything musically at the wall, throwing everything at you, and at the same time coming across as just a simple, effortless rock song. And that's one of the things that to me typifies a really great band. And I mean from songwriting, which to me, as much as I love their musicianship, songwriting is what I really care about. I've always said this, I would rather take a poor group of musicians playing a really well-written song than great musicians playing boring shit. Now, they are great musicians, but here, what makes great songwriting is when it's effortless. When you hear it and it just sounds immediately likable, and then you look under the hood and you're like, that's clever. Because that is how you get a song that is worthy of re-listens rather than just some catchy melody strung around and around and around. Yeah, looking at the extremes, obviously there. In the case of this song, yeah, this to me was one of those songs where you can listen to it over and over again. I mean, as I said at the beginning, this came out quite a while ago, and I've been listening to it quite a lot because it certainly invites re-listens, because there's a lot to get your ears into with this song. And that for me is just a demonstration that although the song doesn't sound like it's doing anything new, it shows that their maturity continues to grow. The fact that it's managed to reference so many little ideas and sounds that Trident have done previously, but then bring them together in such an effortless, just punky sounding package, that to me shows a quality of songwriting and a quality of maturity and a continual growth in that side of the band. The side that for me is the most important side. And of course, I couldn't do this video without referencing the music video that you've been seeing little clips of over here. I really like this. It was simple idea, delivered with a lot of fun. At first, it just looks like, okay, we're so rock and roll, we're just gonna have people fight. I was like, I hope that's not all the video is. But then as it progressed, the humor started coming in, and I really like that. I like the fact that it was kind of like, it was a bit rough, it had energy, yeah, it had fight to it, but it was done with a sort of a knowing tongue-in-cheek edge to it. I like the bit when you went into that second verse. There's, I think it was in the second verse or the pre-chorus. You had that little bit where just suddenly between the clips is just them dancing in the background, and then it continues. And then obviously in the third chorus, we got that little section at the beginning of the chorus that was very reminiscent of the video for The Pretender by Foo Fighters, where suddenly they're being rushed. And I was thinking, how are they going to end this? They haven't got a red background behind them to explode. But then the fact that it then cut from that into the, obviously, the sped up footage, where you record it slow motion and then speed it up. I love that. That was a nice trick. The video was really well done. It was like they were working with not a huge amount, but the director was creative. Lots of long takes, lots of clever ideas, the speeding up of the footage, all this kind of stuff. It was nicely done. I thought it was a really good video, raw, energetic, allowed us again to see the band, allowed them to see them having fun. I also thought it was funny having Asaka's hair tied up. I used to joke in their earlier videos that you would never know if they replaced the singer between every song, because she does that a lot when she sings, and her hair used to always cover her face, and you'd never see her face in music videos. And so having her hair tied up, it was like we actually got to see her. Asaka was there. No, it was great. I think that the director wanted us to see the musicians' face and enjoy the expressions on their faces as well. Yeah, it was really cool. I thought the video, again, a lot like the song, on the surface could just look like some simple high adrenaline stuff, but you look under the hood and there was a lot of clever stuff going on there. So in conclusion, I don't think this is one of those songs that's going to sort of have the massive step up that something like Spoopy did, which is going to help them explode like that song did. And I think a lot of that was just down to the fact that they did something heavy and there's a big audience for heavy stuff. But for me, this is a very important step in the continued, I'm glad to say, ongoing growth of Trident. In that not only does this now mean they've got 3 songs from this new album, which I will be very happy to do an album review of in the new year when I start doing album reviews again, if you guys want me to. Not only does it have a nice variation from the other 2 songs that have previously come up from Dream Up, but as well as that, to be honest, rather than being like an obvious step up, this to me is just one of those step ups that it just shows quality. It shows this is a group who are going to be around, who've just got a handle of their sound, handle of what they're doing. They know how to get the most out of their own sound. They know how to pick apart the various sounds they've done before. I thought this was great. Really gave me a good smile. And it did that other thing as well, which Trident are so good at, which is being kind of hard, being kick-ass. Sorry, I don't believe in kicking donkeys, which is the way it's spelt in America. Sorry. I know. More people spell it that way than the English way. But still, it kicks ass with an R. But at the same time, has fun. And that's what I love about Trident. They have fun kicking ass. Tell me what you think, get in the comments, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.